Okay, goaters, here's another video. This one today is about the Shoofly Boat. It's a 12-foot Starcraft aluminum boat with a 5-horse Johnson on it. And we store it there in the summer. In the winter, we slide it up here onto those logs, take the engine off, take the gas tank and the oars out, and once all that's stored in the tool shed, you flip it over. You flip it over to the far side there. There's like a big pallet there, wood pallet that sort of keeps it off the ground. So it stores upside down there all winter, and then in the spring you just roll it back over, clean it out, slide it back down to the water. I usually put the motor on it after it's in the water because it's lighter. Otherwise it's too heavy to drag across those rocks. So let's walk over here and take a spin. This boat does fill with water. It rained today for a couple hours off and on. So you got to keep the water out of it, otherwise it'll get full of water and turns to algae. So there's a little hand bilge pump we always leave in there, and that pumps the water out. It works really well. So we got these lines almost pre-tied. When you tie it up, you just hook the front bow line onto that ring up there, and then the stern line just goes to this further spile here. Works great. All right, let's see if we can get here. I installed a ladder here recently, make it easier to get on and off this boat. Also, Coast Guard regs say you need a life jacket per person. If it's under 16 feet, you don't need a fire extinguisher. Under 16 feet, you don't need flares, and you don't need a throwable cushion, but you do need one life jacket per passenger. So we're about to get on this thing here. It's easier if you back down on the ladder, backwards. All right. I never start up a boat engine until the motor's running, in case you have a problem. This wooden block here, it's tied, sort of works as the tilt and trim lock, which broke. This just keeps it from, otherwise it'll eventually like sag into the water. And then if this thing's in the water too long, you get algae all over the lower unit, and really don't want to have that. All right, a couple things to go over. Pump the bulb before every use. That sucks the gas up from the tank up to the boat engine. Remember, this gas is mixed with oil at 50-to-1 ratio. So that means 1 ounce of oil for every 50 ounces of gas. So 2 gallons is about 250 ounces. 2 gallons is 250 ounces. So that's 5 ounces of oil. That's 50-to-1. All right, to start this thing, it's pretty easy. This is the throttle, the go forward, stop. There's no neutral on this thing. There's also no reverse. So you got to start it in gear. Anytime it's cold, that's the choke. Don't ever mess with that. Just leave it centered between rich and lean. All right. Give it a good jerk. Choke off. And there's no neutral. It's untied up here. To go in reverse, just turn it backwards. Yeah. Watch the rocks. Shut it off. That kills it. That's pretty much it. We leave the paddles, the oars, in the boat in case you get broke down. You can paddle yourself in. You also leave the pump in there, leave the fuel tank in there, but you take out the life jackets We always point the boats outward there. The other video about the Sea Ray, I got it tied up with the bow pointing out. That's because the waves that come in from the deep open water, it rides better if the bow is pointed into that rough water. But if it's too hard to turn around in here, no problem, and the wind isn't really kicking up, you can always turn it the other way so that the bow faces towards shore, but the stern is facing outwards, so any rough water is going to come and push on the back of the stern a little bit more than if it's positioned this way. So that's the other boat instruction on this one.